Oh my goodness, what a round we just had from the Premier League. Hello, this is my review of the 16th week in the Barclays Premier League, and it's been an unbelievable week. It really has. There's been absolutely tremendous goals, and the amount of goals that have been scored has superseded many a week before. First off, if I sound weird, I'm sorry, I just woke up, but sleep waits for no person because we have Premier League here to dive into. So we'll go to where the first game took place. Probably the biggest game and the biggest result of this week was at the Etihad Stadium, where it was Manchester City that scored six past the previous best defense in the Premier League. Manchester City scored six against Arsenal, who managed to score 3 goals. So it was 6-3 there. It was an entertaining game. That would be for the neutral or the City fans. As in terms of Arsenal, the reason they conceded 6 was basically just mistakes, a lot of mistakes, and many players are returning to their old bad habits. However, that's not to take anything away from City. They were at home and they did capitalise on the mistakes and scored many goals. That's I think both how. Through Fernandinho's both goals, that's how they were scored, and a couple of others. For City, though, they scored 6 goals. It was a great effort for them, and they're back into the title contention. I mean, they were never out of top 4, but really they're actually now producing the results at home to warrant them being in the title race. And however, for City, it's not all like cheery because they still need to win on the road. I don't think Pellegrini has them set up as well when they travel away from home as when he does when they're at the Etihad. So if they can continue this run of form away from home as well, then City are the real deal. For Arsenal, they really just need to regroup, recover, because they've had about 3 games in 10 days, a lot of travelling, so I think their 9-day break or something like that will be very welcome. And then their next task is against Chelsea, which will be a very hard battle there, but it should be a little bit easier since it's at home compared to this City game. But again, it was a good result for the City fans. In Wales, it was Cardiff City getting the 1-0 victory over West Bromwich Albion, and this was Steve Clarke's last match at for his tenure at West Bromwich Albion's head coach. So Steve Clarke is gone. But you could really tell that Bromwich weren't playing anywhere near their potential, because in the first half it was quite a scrappy affair. Out of the 2 teams, Cardiff had the better chances, more or less from the set pieces and getting dangerous balls into the box from crosses and whatnot. But Bromwich did try and equalise late on in the second half, but they were kept out by David Marshall, who had a really good game in goals for Cardiff City. For Cardiff now, that moves them 4 points above the relegation zone. So if Melky Mackay's men start getting on a kind of an unbeaten run the next maybe 5 games or so, the gap between Cardiff and the relegation zone will widen. And as I mentioned before, for Bromwich, it was Clarke's last game as head coach there. So they obviously weren't happy with how the place was being run and the results that were being served to them. So Bromwich will have to again quickly get over this loss and quickly find a new head coach and move on towards their next game, which there's no easy games in the Premier League, so it'll be hard for Bromwich to bounce back, but I'm sure they will. A London derby took place at Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea scrappily got the 2-1 victory over Crystal Palace. It was an okay game, as Palace did make a fair hash of it. They did had chances to equalise, but they couldn't. And looks to me like Crystal Palace have had a bit of a resurgence under Tony Pulis. For Chelsea, though, that's 7 wins in 8 games at home for them under Mourinho, and you could really tell that they were cool, calm and collected, as they did dominate the possession, and they did get which was the eventual winner through Ramirez, which is a tremendous strike from about 20 yards out, and this made Chelsea hold on to the 3 points, and as of right now, they're only 2 points behind Arsenal. So, as I said, next week, the Arsenal-Chelsea game, that could be the game that decides not only maybe who wins the title, but who will definitely be on top of the league come next week. So for both teams, it's really an intriguing battle, and for the Premier League in general as well. At Goodison Park here, it was Everton putting 4 past Fulham, and the final score was Everton 4, and Fulham only managed to able to score 1 goal. Now Everton, they are unbeaten at home in 17 matches, so again, I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that they were unbeaten at home, and they're continuing that trend. Again, like City, they're very good at home. Away from home, maybe could improve a little bit more, but at Goodison Park, they've made that place a fortress. They did dominate the possession against Fulham, and they created numerous amount of chances. And Roberto Martinez was a little bit, he was pleased, but I think he would have liked to have seen them capitalise on more chances. For Everton, the only downside is that there was an injury to their Barcelona loanee, Gerard Deulofeu, who I think had a hamstring problem. But for Everton, they just continue on with their winning ways, and I don't see that stopping in the near future. So for the Everton fans and the Toffee supporters, hopefully that they can continue with getting favourable results. A 1-1 draw took place at St James's Park between Newcastle and Southampton, and for Southampton it was the Saints' first point at St James's Park since 2001, so they've kind of broken a bit of a hoodoo there. But for both sides, they did create a numerous amount of chances, for Newcastle specifically through Loic Remy, who had several chances one-on-one with the keeper and missed them both. The Saints now, Southampton, they are winless in, I think it's about five matches. So that really good run that they had on in the start of the campaign here has really faded away. In terms of the game, it was a good game, and Newcastle did deserve their goal, and either team did deserve a point, so it was a fair result. And Newcastle are kind of the team that's going under the radar right now. They sit 6th in the table, only I think less than 10 points away from Arsenal on the top. And Newcastle, if they can continue these results, they may be looking at a Europa League spot like they had a couple of seasons ago. Upton Park was where West Ham and Sunderland played out a 0-0 draw, and for Sunderland, they haven't scored away from home since August the 31st, so it's basically 5-6 months since they scored an away goal away from the Stadium of Light, and it really shows. Sunderland, their best chance was when they hit the crossbar. But for West Ham as well, their record of getting wins isn't that great. They've only got 1 win in the past 9 games. So it's no surprise as both teams couldn't score. They really did struggle in the final third. West Ham really couldn't maintain any possession or put any pressure on Sunderland in the final third. And even though it was a 0-0 draw, it was probably a result that both teams deservedly got a point, because really neither team deserved the win here, and both West Ham and Sunderland are looking a bit edgy right now. I think that in the next week or in the upcoming weeks they will need to start getting back on track if West Ham want to move away from the relegation zone, and if Sunderland want to move out of it. Another goalless draw took place at the KC Stadium between Hull and Stoke City, and again, this was a game for the goalkeepers. Both McGregor and Asmir Begovic stole the show and really kept clean sheets, but they not only kept a clean sheet, but they kept their sides in the game. If they wanted to try and get the win, it was down to thanks to their goalkeepers. For Hull, they did dominate the possession and created the various more chances early on. Therefore, being at home in front of their fans at the KC, you would expect that, and kind of an unexpected formation between Steve Bruce. He played 3-5-2, and I think that kind of flustered Stoke City, but it didn't fluster Asmir Begovic, as he made some cracking saves. Stoke did come back into the game under Mark Hughes, who must have had some harsh words for his team at halftime, but they really couldn't break Hull City down. And for Hull, that's their 5th clean sheet at home, so if you go to the KC Stadium, don't expect to score very many goals past Hull City, because they're very sound at home. And for Stoke, that's their 6th away game without a win. So again, away from the Britannia, they probably do need to pick up a few more points than they have been doing. So we'll wait and see how both teams travel in the next couple of weeks. Sunday's games were probably even better and took more of an unexpected turn than Saturday's games. And the first game that took place on Sunday at Villa Park between Aston Villa and Manchester United finished where United put 3 past Aston Villa. For United, they did return to winning ways. It was their first win in 5 games in the Premier League. And for Villa, that's 6 home defeats. So again, I mentioned in my preview video that Villa haven't been hitting the straps as much as I think that myself and Paul Lambert would have expected. But for United, they did comprehensively dominate the game in all facets, really, in terms of goals. Obviously, they put 3 past Villa and kept a clean sheet. They dominated the possession, and they created various amount of chances. And really, it was a good game for United to come, because it allowed some of their players to return to form. Tom Cleverley got a goal since a year, and Danny Welbeck got a brace, and so their type of squad players kind of played themselves back into form. And also there was a morale boosting return as Darren Fletcher got over his stomach virus, or not a stomach virus, but some sort of disease that he had, and congratulations to him. I hope all is well. That's coming from an Arsenal fan too. But for United, again, they're only 10 points from the top, so they're still in contention, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks for them, if they pick up a couple more victories here and there, and the teams above them sort of slip, then United will be back where they believe they should be, and that's near the top of the table. Carrow Road saw a 1-1 draw between Norwich and Swansea City. Now, Norwich are unbeaten in 4 matches, but it was Swansea that really controlled the proceedings early on through Nathan Dyer, who did score. However, late on in the second half, I think he did suffer a fractured ankle and have to be stretched off. So that's poor news for Nathan Dyer there, and I hope all is well. For Norwich, they did finish off the game stronger, and it was through Gary Hooper that they got their equalising goal with a superb strike, and Michel Vorm, Swansea goalkeeper, stood no chance, and that was the equalising goal there. Late on, both teams really tried to go for the victory, but there was no goal, and it remained a 1-1 draw at Carrow Road there. The final game, and probably the most crazy result that took place, apart from the City 6-3, was at White Hart Lane, where it was Tottenham who couldn't score at home. However, they faced a Liverpool side that put 5 past them, so it was Liverpool 5, Tottenham 0. And it's, again, Suarez was made captain, so Luis Suarez, captain of Liverpool, and I think he really embraced it. He embraced having the armband and, being the so-called appointed leader out on the field, and it showed as he scored a brace. So that's 17 goals in 11 appearances this season for Luis Suarez, and Liverpool played really well. I haven't seen Liverpool play like that since when they had Torres in about 2009. So Liverpool are really starting to now pick up a lot of momentum. For Tottenham, in my preview video, I basically went through in my mind theoretically how I believe Tottenham should play. and they did the complete opposite of that, as they struggled to create anything in the final third. Didn't really put any pressure under the Liverpool defence, who kind of had a day out. And what was made worse for Tottenham is that Paulinho got sent off after kind of kicking Suarez in the chest, so they're going to have to make do without him for the next game. For Tottenham as well, when the team sheets came out, they played Etienne Capoue, kind of a defensive midfielder, at centre back, and you're just asking for trouble when you got the likes of Luis Suarez there. And Tottenham were really made to pay for their mistakes. Andre Villas-Boas came out in the post-game and said that it was all on him, and correctly so. I mean, for now, it seems as if Tottenham are really slipping, and there's pressure under Andre Villas-Boas, and rightly so. I mean, they were at home, and they conceded 5 goals to basically another top 4 contending and title contending team in Liverpool, and those aren't the results that Tottenham want. However, coming from me as an Arsenal fan, those are the results I want to see, because it was really good viewing. For Liverpool, finally, they move into second place, only 2 points behind the leaders, and Liverpool are kind of legit this season, and we've got about 4, 5, 6 teams that can really push for the title there. So again, another as the week continue, the title race continually hots up. So that is my review of the 16th week here in the Barclays Premier League. If your team won and got a good result like Liverpool or like Everton, congratulations. If your team didn't win like Arsenal, my team, well then it's kind of better luck next time. That's the good thing about the Premier League. You don't have to gel on the losses for too long, as another week is quickly around the corner. And also, as I've said in the past couple of videos, the fixtures do continue to increase in the amount of games that teams play in the next couple of weeks, due to there being Christmas, obviously, and the New Year. So again, a lot more videos will be coming out of my channel, and thank you for your feedback on my previous video, in that saying if you guys want to see previews and reviews for the Champions League, good feedback there. So if you want, leave more feedback on that video. It's my previous video before this one, and I definitely will be reviewing the round of 16, the groups of 16 from the Champions League, and then of course I will be doing all the finals and leading up to the Champions League finals there. So enough rambling from me. I've got to go back and get some sleep. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.